Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 655th episode of the GeekVerse podcast. I'm the coxless Travis Snail. I'm joined by...
I'm Dash, Kirkland Patzer.
Hey, I'm Dylan.
I am the man in chair, Taylor Field.
I need a loan.
I just realized this. At some point, we would have blasted past GV episode 616. Did we do anything special, Marvel fun thing with that, or was that just a random old episode?
Let me find out. I'll see if
Missed opportunity. We'll have to wait for 1616 next.
We'll
It's
get
probably
there.
a movie review for something.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was
man.
Kirkland's
My
September
solo
5
review,
solo
yeah.
review.
Oh, we were so close. 626 was Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh,
That would have been...
what could have been?
That would have been great there, but excuse me, sorry, I'm a little under the weather, so I apologize. I'll try to mute and whatnot if I'm coughing or anything like that. So I apologize for those first ones. But we are here today to talk about a very big thing, and Dylan, I'll get back to you on that in a second because I don't find
It's
it.
fine.
So.
Don't worry about it.
No, I want to know now. It's a curious thing, but yes, a little impromptu newscast. Me and Kirkland are still doing news tomorrow. Patrons, you'll get that because I still got a whole bunch of topics. Me and Kirkland got a lot of horror stuff to talk about. They announced there's a Scooby-Doo live action show. I got some Spider-Man Osborn rumors. So we got some trailers to talk about. So there's some good stuff, but this could not wait. So that's what we're doing tonight is we're talking about the Avengers Doomsday cast reveal, a very different way. What we're going to do is I'm going to just ask everybody what they felt about the reveal because that was a very controversial topic. And then I kind of have the cast list broken down into sections of people, and I will clarify why. And then we got a bunch of questions as well. So if you got anything live chat, throw it in. But thank you to the patrons, and I'll quickly do that. Plugs, Taylor needs a loan. Head over to Patreon. You can send questions in advance. You can get this episode and many ad-free. You get this episode and every episode ad-free that's on Patreon. You can get our exclusive retrospectives like Mission Impossible, Superman, and as you can see, kind of in the background, you see Sue there. Fantastic Four, that is done. That's a fun one, all exclusive there. So we very much appreciate it. Thank you very much if you support us. That's the best way to get more content and grow the channel. And if not, just subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. Go to our Discord, lots of good stuff. Everything you need to know is down below. So I don't know, I guess because I'm trying to figure out the way to go about this. I don't know, because Taylor said he hadn't even found everybody. So don't say every person that's in the cast yet. He didn't see everything. But Dylan, what did you think of the idea of, 8:05, the stream starts. There was rumors around yesterday, and this is why I was talking about this with Chris, because we have some friends that are their circles. They hate people that talk about the B tier scoopers and the C tier scoopers. And Chris knows, I messaged him
We
yesterday.
thrive off that stuff.
We thrive, and I messaged him yesterday. I'm like,
That's our hunting ground.
I'm hearing something's going down tomorrow. And luckily, it did go down. 8:05, live stream goes up. It's just a black room. You're thinking, okay, what's going on? And then it's like a studio lot. The doors open up. It's light, which I think we know who the person is now. A guy walks by, and then a chair goes down. And the first chair is Chris Hemsworth. Now, when I woke up, I had heard this news. And like I said, I was under the weather, so I slept in. When I woke up, I just saw this, it was paused, and Chris Hemsworth. So I'm like, is their stream broken? Are they having technical difficulties? I'm like, there's no way this can be screwing them over right now, right? But it wasn't. What happens is every 15 minutes for each of these person, they would reveal a new name, not alphabetical, not by franchise or year, anything like that, just a random name. I think they kind of did it in a three people, surprise. Three people, surprise. But Dilmas, what did you think about this? Because it's controversial. Some people saying what a waste. It took too long. They should just put it out there. It's maybe you should have had Kevin Feige or someone introduce these people just by names. Or did you like the way of, hey, they're slowly trickling this out throughout the day? It lasted about, I think 4 to 5. I think it's 5.5 hours the stream lasted. So, yeah, Mr. Muss.
I thought it was super fun. I really enjoyed it. I think it, I don't know, just being in our Discord. I'm not really on social media, right? My social media is the GV Discord, which if you haven't joined that yet, today, these are the kind of days why you want to be in there. Because it was so fun just to see everyone super hyped. I don't know if people were more hyped on this than even the last Comic-Con in terms of some of the announcements there. It felt like it was at that tier at least, which is kind of fun considering it was just a random live stream, but obviously it was a pretty big deal, and there's a lot of implications that come through with all these names that were shown off here. A lot of surprises, a few expected ones, but I'd say mostly surprises, which is really great to see. So I think the format was really fun, and yeah, it took a long time, but it's not like you were it's not like it was engaging content that you had to watch every second of. You know, I just kind of had it in the background. I missed a couple because I was working or like had to go out of the house for a bit, and then I'd catch up on the ones that I missed. And then you can kind of break it all down at the end if you want to. So I think it was really fun. I liked it, and I guess I'll leave it there for now before we get too deep into the names itself.
What about you, Mr. Field?
So I had no idea really what was going on because I saw some people talking. And I saw a picture of a chair, and there was one name on there for a specific person. I was like, oh, okay, so it's just more information about this certain upcoming project. I didn't know it was Avengers related or anything like that. And then I saw another one, and maybe two more, and I thought, okay, this is an ongoing thing. Then the Discord popped off. You guys are all talking about it, and I don't know a lot. I started to see, and I think like the memes came in so quick because I started to see a bunch of fake names. I was like, fuck, I have no idea what's real and what's not real anymore. I got like, holy shit.
Because Emily was like, I'd really like this person, and then I saw a tweet, and I did this GUA accidentally, and I shared it, and then I found it was not a real thing. But then that person later on got announced. I will say who it was. So I was like, oh, I was redeemed, but I was like, oh, damn it, I got screwed over here. But yeah, it was fast and furious.
You were like an early scooper then. You got it out before the actual chair.
I did.
That's
Yeah.
good for you.
But yeah, I'm excited to hear what the official like name roster is here. I will say too, I think a lot of people that are like coming forward and were like, oh well, they're just like shafting these other names, because I saw that some people were upset about certain other characters not being announced and whatnot. I think just like take a deep breath. It's okay. They're gonna be there, I'm sure, for the next Avengers, Secret War after the fact.
Yeah?
I think it's the same.
You think
like
the Eternals are going to be there.
I think so. I think it's the same reason, like, when you look at Infinity War didn't have everyone, right? But when you look at Endgame had everyone. So I think it's going to be similar along those lines.
I don't think so. We'll talk about it, but I think there's going to be some people left off the board just for
There's a lot more
financials.
people now than there was
Yeah.
back then.
Think about that, Taylor.
Only like 3 of them have died, and we've added like 48. So,
But I don't know, more than what we got in Endgame, like the portal scene, that was a lot of people.
I know, but remember we talked about this in the Cap review where the amount of projects we got now that are just films are more than what we got in the entirety of like phase 1 to 3 as far as like new properties and stuff. Like I think I agree with Dylan where it's like it's harder to like time and budget wise to fit all these people in, you know? But we'll see. Kirkland Patzer, very rude to me this morning. I because I told him what was going on. And I'm like, he's like, is there like there's news? Can I watch this link? I'm like, it's nothing. They're just revealing names. And then rudely he's like, well, can I have the link? And I was like, all right, here's the link. And he didn't believe me. And then he's like, oh, it's literally just names. Like, yeah, it's literally nothing. It was so funny when I got that. Like, this little fucking guy telling me, like,
it's the instant gratification era, I grew up in. I just need answers now. Yeah, I got pretty excited just because I felt like I just had a lot of buzz in the air about like a new Marvel announcement, and it doesn't happen often these days, but like it just felt like, man, this is gonna be like a big day, and I feel like it was and it wasn't. I really didn't love the layout of it, of the whole reveal with the video. I was looking forward to just like putting on like a full on like show. Feige comes out with like actors and stuff like that more so than just every 15 minutes there's a new name on screen. So it's like, okay, yeah, I'm just going to look at the list once it's all done. So I was really just not able to plug into it today. But with that being said, I didn't love the delivery of it, but the result I was actually very hyped on. I think once the dust settled, I definitely was head scratching on a certain maybe number of names that just weren't on the list that I would have expected them to be on there. So we'll get there when we get there. But yeah, no, I was very surprised by quite a few of these names on here, and that was really fun because I feel like the big Avengers titles, like when you get all these characters together, that's really what's fun about these projects. So yeah, just thinking about the list of names that we have and seeing the on-screen potential, I am very excited. However, I do hope I'm not going to be like really wanting those names that maybe aren't on here. And I don't know, I think I'm more on the line that I would expect to see some names that aren't on here in the next film, like in Secret Wars and stuff like that. Maybe I'm more on that camp, but yeah, no. Well, I think that's all I'll say for now.
Yeah, no, I absolutely loved it. I think Dylan brought it up, and I see Espos too. Espos saying, seeing the whole timeline Discord talking about the chair stream restored my feeling of watching DC fandom. RIP 2020, 2021, and those were fun
Short-lived.
days. Yeah, short lived. Gone, bring that back. That was second one was a little iffy, but that first one was great. But yeah, to me, and it also reminded me. We'll talk about it. It might be played up in a thing we do for GV Day for maybe a little segment or a sketch, but how this podcast started was us watching E3 in a Facebook chat, just going back and forth. And that's what today reminded me on the Discord of throwing out theories. Oh, what could be next? Why is this person? What's the order? Who's going to be last? And shout to Hans, you got like the first person I talked to that said this person's going to be last. Like, that's what was so fun about it. So from a fan, I really liked it. And so take that out, because I could see even like Kirk, and I've seen other people brought up like, oh, I would have liked a bigger presentation. Kind of like, remember they did during COVID when they did they did like a new slate reveal, and that's when they announced like we're not recasting Chadwick. I can't remember what it was. Oh, it was the Investors Day. That's what it was. So they had like a big pop and circumstance there, right? I think this was, hey, they're filming next week or the week after. Why let a bunch of scoopers get a bunch of Patreon subs and clicks when it's like, well, we can just do it right now. At one point, I think the live stream had like 8.5 million watching live. Like,
Crazy.
So that's where it's like the fucking YouTube stream wasn't ad rated, so you didn't have to watch a bunch of ads or anything, but just the hype. And that's where I didn't get from the fan perspective, whatever, that's subjective, how people didn't understand, like, why are they doing this such a bad way? That was the chatter of the entire day. One, there's a stream, and then every 15 minutes, all the article writers or tweeters are tweeting, oh, this name and this and that. Everyone's like, yeah, the memes, but just like it created the whole conversation where there's either you could be talked to for about 6 hours, let's round up to, and then there's people like Kirkland Taylor might catch up later, or you just put on an article and dump everything. And it's just like, there's a bunch of names where it's like, Myers, I think Taylor's seen this one, but something like Namor, it's like that name would have just been in there, but for 15 minutes, people were like, oh, I kind of forgot about Namor. Oh, right, I guess he's in there. Where like, if he's just in a name, you're going to talk about like the biggest 5 surprises we got, right? Like, it's going to be a nothing thing. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do this again for Secret Wars. They already said that there's going to be more names. I think I think they're saving some stuff for Comic-Con, which we'll talk about because I have the list of names that aren't on there, like big names. And I think they're also saving for like, I don't know, just in case Thunderbolt sucks. It's like, what a great way of like in a week and a half drop like, oh, we got another slate of names that's going to change the conversation, right? And I'm not trying to be negative, but it's just like, it's an instant hype builder. And I just didn't understand why people are like, why are they doing this? It's like, well, people have talked about for the past 2 years how other than some exceptions, MCU hype's dead, right? Like, how are they going to hype up these Avengers? Well, they're trying to build it up and be like, well, I don't like it that way. They shouldn't hype it that way. It's like, but this got the conversation going the whole day. So I thought it was super smart business-wise, where like film Twitter, comic Twitter, online discourse, all that type of fandom stuff, they like just hijacked it and they took the message. So yeah, Detail said he was he's cheesing the whole time. Oh,
Yeah, I was
goodness.
surprised to see that wording.
Cheesing. I thought it was
Cheering
like a negative
makes
thing.
sense, but cheesing is something
cheesing.
else.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. Let's talk about this. So we're going to start with a roster of people, but then also a question by Mike. So I'm going to give the roster first. So we're going to start with the Thunderbolts. That's who they revealed here. So they revealed that the Red Guardian's going to be in there. Florence Pugh's going to be in there. Sebastian Stan, Hannah Von whichever. I can't remember her name. I got it somewhere.
John
I'll get
Kamen.
it. John Kamen, thank you. And then Luz Pullman as Bob or whoever, So I'll make sure confirm there's no one else.
And
but
Wyatt Russell? I don't know if
and
you said
Wyatt
that.
Russell. Yeah, no, Wyatt Russell, John Walker, you're correct there. So one, what do you feel about these names? And I'll say it for the podcast because I'll obviously tell on Discord. Lots of people, same thing, this stream today, very mixed opinion. Lots of people were not happy with these names because we got this movie in pretty much a month and a couple weeks. And, Thunderbolt's supposed to be like Suicide Squad, bro, and anyone could die. They're all expendable. What could happen? But they're revealing all these names. So, Mr. Russ, what did you think about, one, these characters being there, but two, did you share that same sentiment of like, oh, maybe you could have held these names back until after, or did you not really care about like the format of letting these people out?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a multiverse movie, right? So, like, maybe these are Thunderbolts from another time or something, or, like, maybe some of the versions. I don't think that's what's happening, but I don't know. There's just a chance. Maybe if David Harbour does get decapitated in that movie, it's possible he could still be in this one coming up. I guess I didn't mind so much. Like, I didn't really expect many of these people to die. The only one that I was surprised, I guess, to see here was Luce Pullman as Bob, I guess, or Bob Sentry, whatever's going on there. Just because I thought he'd be the villain, and good chance he would die. But if he didn't die, it's not like he would just be joined up with the team. So I don't know. This is making me wonder now if we're gonna get like a Batman versus Superman thing, where like, okay, Doomsday is in here, or what's that? Is that the name of
Yeah,
the
it's
villain?
Doomsday. Yeah.
Okay, that's funny.
It's literally
funny
Doomsday.
DC timing.
Yeah.
Where we might get that, like, are they okay? Do they actually end up teaming up against something else that we haven't seen yet, or maybe there's a rumor that I'm just not remembering? So curious to see what happens there. But and I don't have much knowledge on that character or that actor really, so I don't have much more to comment there. But the only one that's funny here is like, oh, there's one, I guess two omissions. Like I guess Val, that's maybe not surprising. Like I could still see her being in the movie, but not
Yeah.
being on the thing here. Maybe she pops up later, or maybe she's just not in it. It doesn't make sense for her to be in the Avengers part. But then obviously Taskmaster, which from the trailers, it's like Taskmaster's dead, so I guess it wasn't really like a shocker to me that like this is almost self-confirming that as well
It's like
again.
ultra confirming now. Like it's like
Yeah.
almost. I almost
Which
kind
is
of hope.
pretty fucking stupid, honestly. Like that's a really D-Toll was cheesy, and that's a very cheesy, weird thing to do. But you know what? It's Taskmaster, so it's not the end of the world. I can live with it, and I'm surprised to see them all in here. We've talked about this. We did a bread and butter Patreon exclusive episode recently, and like Sebastian Stan, Pew, those two seem like, oh yeah, those two got to be in this movie somehow, some way. But yeah, it's like, okay, they're like, I guess this makes sense, right? It's this movie, F4, Avengers. So like they're really building
And
up, they're
even
really
Cap,
walking
right?
up that staircase. Yeah,
Because
definitely.
we just said Cap, and like I don't think Taylor's gonna care about this. Like they confirmed like the guy that plays Falcons in there, right? So it's like clearly you have that. So and I feel like, and we won't say all the names, but like they've clearly set up the teams where it's like it seems like you have an Avengers team. We'll get there. Seems like you got Thunderbolts, you got an X-Men team, and then F4. So it's like that kind of makes sense where there's all these squads of people now that are kind of, instead of like different planets, they're I guess universes for X-Men, but they're defined by that team A, team B, and stuff. So
and we've talked so much about how like, wow, this movie is not being set up in the same way that like Infinity War or Endgame, any of these other movies were, and that they like had a very obvious build up. And now it's kind of coming together of like, okay, it seems like maybe a last minute way that they're building up.
quick
They're
come
kind of having to
together. Yeah.
react in a lot of ways, but still, it is pretty consistent, as you mentioned, like multiple projects. Leaving the TV shows aside because those kind of seem like they're in a different, they're not even in 616 anymore. It seems like,
No.
but this seems like a pretty obvious like build up now towards this movie. So I think this was cool to get this confirmation and gets me more hyped for Thunderbolts, which I was already going to go see it, but maybe this will get other people who weren't going to see it. Maybe they're more excited now.
Yeah.
So that's potentially a good thing for the MCU.
yeah, that's where I was, where I never thought any of them were gonna die. I'm surprised even like Ghost is in here. Like even if Ghost survives, I'm like, I don't think she's gonna be an Avengers movie, right? Like, but great for her. I wasn't surprised because all these names, other than I could say Ghost, even Luce Pullman. I do agree in the Discord, Kyle and other people brought up where, do you really need to put Luce Pullman's name? Because like, is he selling the movie for anybody? Probably not. You could have left him out, but at the end of the day, it's like it's only us nerds that do it. But again, maybe it's a stamp on that performance where it's like, hey, we really like him, he's coming back. I'm very Pew's like, we talked about that. Well, we had a big discussion about Pew in one of the episodes. Go check that out because it's still evergreen. The 2 episodes we did where you guys did the 50 characters in Avengers, check that out. And then when we did who should be on the Avengers roster, we were picking specific rosters too. So those episodes still on Patreon are pickable. But what I'm going to say though is, I cannot wait for John Walker. I don't know how much screen time he's going to have, but the fact that he's in an Avengers movie, my goodness. Like, I actually think there's a great chance Doomsday fucking kills this guy. Like, that's one thing. Everyone's talking about, oh, why is this person... Like, I think a lot of these people,
Cannon fodder.
you need to have Doomsday come in strong. A lot of these people, that we'll talk about, like Ghost, like that, even someone like... from Black Panther, I think there's people where it's like, oh, these are easy layups to make Downey really scary like that.
Is this a snap like they disappear but they could come back, or are they
No.
dead?
Because I like as much
You
as
already
I
got
love
Taskmaster.
he brings her back, kills her. And I don't like Taskmaster, but there's almost part of me that hopes she does survive. And this is like a big, like, they almost on purpose were like, let's make it seem like Taskmaster's gonna die, and really, like, let's say Red Guardian's gonna die, but he's only in Avengers in like a flashback. I would love it if they pulled off like some con where we're all like, oh, we're idiots, they fooled us. But no, Taskmaster's fucking already 6 feet. Like, I'm attending the funeral tomorrow for Taskmaster.
Body's
but,
cold already, yeah.
no, I think some people could come back, Taylor, but I think there will be a lot of deaths in Doomsday. I think you have to, because you have to establish him very fast, kind of like what Dylan's talking about with like the whole like Cap to Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, so you don't get to have that buildup of Thanos, even though it was still a smaller buildup. I think
that's just a comedic scene in itself, then, because I can see like, okay, oh, we got this new threat. It's like first 5 minutes of Avengers Doomsday. It's like, oh, Doom's here, and it's like, oh, who we're gonna send? We're gonna send the Thunderbolts. They just saved New York City. They go in, and in the first 5 minutes, they're all just fucking annihilated. Like, I don't know. You're supposed to feel sorry for them. I feel like I'd be laughing, as sad as it is to say.
S Bubs is right. Yeah, I got Dylan got me with the Doomsday era rumor. I keep saying Doomsday. Yeah, he's not in this movie. Doomsday's not in this movie. It's Doctor Doom. But yeah, that would be a perfect way to set them up. They got to go look into something, and then Doctor Doom just messes up Ghost, messes up Red Guardian's doing nothing. What's Red Guardian gonna do? So some comedic beats.
It's also like smart to save any potential deaths from the Thunderbolts in an Avengers title as opposed to just the Thunderbolts, because you're like just getting introduced to them.
Mm-hmm.
They have their like nice on-screen chemistry, and then they just die like right then and there. Whereas if you wait till Avengers, it's like, oh yeah, no, I really like that team, and then and they come back together. Can't wait to see this adventure, the new Guardians, and then.
So that didn't bug you at all, getting those names before Thunderbolts was out?
I mean, a little bit, just because it takes a little bit of like stakes away, maybe from like a potential death from that movie. I think any like close call now in the movie, I'll probably still be into the scenes, but I feel like it can take away from that. But now that we're talking about it and just stewing on the potential Doomsday, just what's going to be happening, I do actually prefer that avenue. So. Yes and no, as fake out of an answer that is, but yeah, I don't know. I think the one that surprised me the most would have been Ghost, just because I don't know. I've never really been a Ghost fan, but she's in there, and we'll see. Maybe she'll survive to Secret Wars. Who knows? Maybe she's going to be the new.
We'll get another interaction between. Well, it's to spoil one character coming up, I guess, like Ant-Man and Ghost again. We'll potentially have some connection. Will be interesting to see that again.
Unless she dies in that opening
movie
scene.
She came in from.
Yeah, it's been a while. That was what? 2018, 2019, somewhere in there. So we're coming on 8 to 7 years.
It was right before Infinity War, wasn't it? Or no,
no, it was after Infinity War, because remember they got snapped in the end credit?
Oh, yeah.
Wait. With Ghost and Ant-Man?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was in the first Ant-Man movie, right?
No,
second
one.
That's Yellow
Ghost
Jacket.
was in the second one.
First he came back in. He came back in Ant-Man and
right. One of those. He's coming back as an Avenger, right?
Yeah, he died in Avengers. So
didn't see his name on a freaking chair today.
It's coming. He's gonna be like Red Skull, like Cassie, son of Scott Lang or daughter of Scott Lang. Anything else on the Thunderbolt specifically? I'm excited for Pew.
Same.
Yeah,
Pew Boys Unite.
Yeah, it sounds like Pew's down there with Taylor right now. So I just threw these into Avengers adjacent, but I do think this is kind of the formation of a team. But these are just kind of those type of characters. We got Thor, Loki, Captain America, Falcon, Namor, Black Panther, aka specifically right now, Letitia Wright, Black Panther, M'Baku, Ant-Man, and Shang-Chi. I feel like that they have said there's going to be more, so I think there could be more on the team, but we talked about that on that Avengers cast. To me, it's like Thor, Cap, Black Panther, Ant-Man, Shang-Chi. You could have Falcon on there, sure. He could also be like a Doctor Doom victim, but like that 5 right there of Thor, Cap, Black Panther, Ant-Man, Shang-Chi feels like we pitched similar variations of that type of team. So there could be more that's added. Obviously, there's a big spider person that was not anywhere on this list, so who knows what's going on there. I got some theories there. But yeah, what do we feel about this list? It's been a while since we see Shang-Chi. We weren't sure because there's been rumors about young T'Challa aging up. We weren't sure about Letitia Wright. We got Loki, which is good because obviously he's doing these multiverse things. So what do we feel about some of these Avengers / just kind of 616 characters popping around here?
Did you remember that M'Baku's the ruler of Wakanda right now? Because I kind of forgot about that till I saw his name.
Yeah, Brent reminded me today, and I was like, that stupid, lazy-ass, dumb plot of like whole movie about who's going to raise the kingdom, and then after, I'm the king now, and she left. I hope Doctor Doom, I don't want him to die. I like Winston Duke, but kill him and he becomes the king of Wakanda, Fuck. Yeah.
That's new Latveria.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Black Panther crew, like Letitia Wright makes a lot of sense. I could see her just being one recruited. The other two were really surprising ones for me. I don't think in any of our predictions or coming up with our rosters that we ever would have come up with Namor or M'Baku. And so remind me exactly what happens at the end of the second Black Panther with Namor. Like, where is he left off?
She showed him mercy, so they have like an uneasy alliance where they've kind of
He was like in the post credit too, wasn't he?
I think so, but I think it was again kind of hinting about like they could go to war or something like that. Like again, that's why it was an uneasy alliance where they trusted each other, or they didn't trust each other, but they agreed to, hey, let's try and build a foundation because they were just killing each other off, right? So let's stop that. But that's where it was, where he,
I
did that.
I think about how many characters we have in this, and they have said there's more to come. It's like, man, there's so much ground to cover, and like I just don't know how we're gonna like make Namor make sense. And I feel like the answer is maybe they just don't. Like maybe he's just there, and you just kind of have to accept it as a viewer. And I think that'll take it down a little bit for me. I'd like if these things made a little bit more sense, but we'll see what happens there. But yeah, Winston Duke as well. Really surprised to see him because I feel like we spent so much time in Infinity War at Wakanda doing like the big war there and stuff, and so I don't think we'd be going back there as a location for this. I feel like they just want like a different setting and whatnot. So that's where I'm like, okay, well, obviously if you're in Wakanda, all these characters are going to pop up, but it seems like an odd trio, I guess, if you're only getting these three. And Okoye and Nakia not on this list, maybe they come back too, but like it does seem like a weird little trio in my opinion.
Do you feel that, because I kind of agree with you with Wakanda, do you feel that same way with Atlantis, though? Because I feel like Atlantis is a place we could return to as far as, like, underground. I'm sure Doom has some magical stuff where he can breathe underwater and he's messing stuff up. Like, because M'Baku to me made sense of, let's just say Shuri's there, they go pick her up, and the King of Wakanda, they give him a scene just to establish he's the ruler now, right? Or something happens. But with Atlantis, it's not like I could have seen where, okay, in Infinity War, it was like, oh, we got to go to all these locations because of the stones, right? As of right now, we don't know. Maybe they will introduce some MacGuffin where it's like, well, the MacGuffin, whatever, the new stone is underwater, and we got to go there. So unless it's not, I still think that could be the reason why. It's just a new location that they haven't been to many, like just the once, I guess, right? Just in forever. So
yeah, I don't even remember those sequences.
It's Atlantis. Yeah, it's the same as Aquaman, unfortunately, because it's all like.
I thought they renamed it though.
Oh, you might be right. I think they did rename
it. It's like
it.
Atalan or something like that.
Atalan, Atlantia, something like that.
Atlanta.
Can't say I remember
Atlanta,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to rewatch that movie. I don't think I've ever seen it again, but I think I'll have to now.
Some good moments.
It's a big thing here for me, at least. If they do it, him and Sue Storm have a very big connection. Him, Sue Storm, and Reed are a big triangle throuple. So the second I saw him on there, I was like, oh, is that why he's in there? Don't know how. Maybe Fantastic Four. Maybe when they come to our universe, they like crash into the water and they get saved by that. Literally, actually, could fucking be it. Maybe whatever they're called, the water people in MCU now.
Mermaids.
Yeah, maybe their ship crashes, Planet of the Apes style, and literally they save them from drowning, and that's how you get that connection there. So actually, I could see that, and no, that's the thing, because Reed and Sue always have a rocky marriage, and he comes in there many times as a seducer, and he's a good-looking guy, he's a smooth talker. So I really hope they push those buttons now or in the future. So.
They go the Planet of the Apes route. They lobotomize the rock, or not the rock. Jeez,
the thing.
Yeah.
How do you lobotomize the
not
thing?
the rock. you need sharp tools.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. The more I find out about that, just love dynamic. Sue Storm's mistress, something along those lines. I'm definitely intrigued by a storyline like that. I'm totally down to adventure and some more Atlantis stuff on the MCU side, whatever the hell it's called. I was just so surprised to see Namor back. Honestly, I didn't really know all about the behind the scenes stuff going on, but I just felt like it was at least a yellow flag, and that's like, oh, okay, we'll see where this goes. So I kind of just wrote him out, but no, I'm excited to explore the character a little bit more, and hopefully a little bit more of their just land, I guess, and people, and I imagine it would take that placeholder of the Wakanda location in a big Avengers scale, conflict, which maybe that just means it gets destroyed.
It could be. Yeah.
We'll see what happens. But
do you think he's
I'm excited
purely?
to see him.
a location character, or do you think he ever joins up the squad and goes on location? I mean, like in Infinity
Yeah.
War, Shuri's in just Wakanda. That's the only place we see her, right? Where obviously,
Yeah.
I guess T'Challa actually didn't leave Wakanda either. He got snapped. But there's other characters, right? Where it's like they bounce from location to they're our main characters. Like I feel like he's a location character. I don't see him like he's been on the Avengers, so maybe I'm wrong because he's like Hulk. Apparently, they can't make a solo Namor movie, so maybe they have some plan to put him on the Avengers squad in the future. Like he's a different move set and whatnot, but I think he's not gonna leave the seven seas. You know?
I could see him maybe departing at least for this adventure, but like once Doomsday, maybe
Dr.
Secret
Doom.
Wars or Doctor Doom. Well, just once this adventure's done, like the Avengers adventure, I think he's very much gonna just be staying where he is, and like maybe that allows him to just be, I don't know, like when they have to go to the Sanctum Sanctorum, it's same sort of idea. Like they just go to Atlanta,
Yeah.
Georgia, wherever the hell this guy is, and then,
Yeah, I feel like Namor doesn't really have a passport, so I feel like he's not going many places.
Yeah.
I think
No,
he's
definitely not.
But
staying
he
in
could
the
go
water.
everywhere.
he's
As long as he
international
does
flies,
waters
right?
only.
Yeah, he does have he has the little leg wings. Remember?
Oh yeah, the little ankle
those things.
anklet bracelet thing. Yeah.
Those are stupid. I don't like those. Very
they're
Hermes
fur.
of them.
Taylor, on that list I gave you, was there any names you hadn't heard? I tell you again: Thor, Loki, Captain America, Falcon, Namor, Black Panther, M'Baku, Ant-Man, and Shang-Chi. Had you heard all those?
I didn't hear the Loki one. I knew the Chris Hemsworth. That was the second one that I saw today. And yeah, some of the Black Panther characters, a lot more than I was expecting. But then I'm also, you didn't say what was her name?
Okoye?
Okoye? Yeah, you didn't
Not
say her,
yet,
right?
No.
Or
Not
Nakia.
yet.
And I mean, not yet for nothing today. I'm not like withholding it like, oh, it's actually this. No, yeah,
Dr.
nothing.
Doom got her en route.
Yeah. Yeah, they kill her off screen.
They confirmed that's the one character not in the movie. Koya is not coming back.
Denai Guerrera? No. She wanted too much. She wanted too much. Downey's saying that she wanted too much. She's going into my fund.
Yeah, I think this is very exciting. I'm glad that they said Loki because I'm just super stoked. I want that Thor Loki
It's
moment
coming,
again.
baby.
That's oh my goodness. I just can't wait to see that. And I saw some people talking about like, oh, it'd be cool if like Doom is trying to get to Loki where Loki is to control timelines
That's
or
the
multiverses.
theory.
I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that sounds pretty cool too. So there's some I
Is
just
that too
want
much
to be.
required reading though? Like they're expecting people to watch 2 seasons of a TV show.
You would need some kind of explanation,
Yep.
like, okay, here's Doom, and Doom just shows up, and then why is there a Loki
Well-
sitting in this tree in some place, right?
If you play it off, though, think about Red Skull. Red Skull disappears in First Avenger. You don't see him until Infinity War. They never explain that, right? If you look at Loki's trajectory, Thanos kills him, and then let's say you didn't watch any Disney Plus ever, and the next time you see Loki, he's on some sort of multiverse, chair or whatever. He's controlling it. I think that could work the same way, where some people might just assume like, oh, he didn't die, he went over
But we all
here.
know Loki did escape. That was on the big screen, right? Everyone got to see
Right,
him
yeah,
leave. So I guess
right.
that's good enough of an explanation.
In Endgame, he got the Tesseract and he popped out. That's the show. So yeah, I guess if you
Right.
just watch the movies, you could assume, oh, that Loki went off and did his own stuff, and now he's
He
the
did good
the-
things. Look at
He's
him.
the leader of the multiverse. Yeah, look at him. He's got a cool helmet now. and
It's the
everything.
same premise as Red Skull because
It is.
Tesseract blasted him, and yeah, then he popped up later. So it is. That explains it actually pretty decently.
They're gonna take his
him.
legs.
Blast him.
He's not gonna be on a throne. He's gonna be floating.
Yeah, just green caped.
And then you said Shang-Chi as well, right?
Yep,
Okay.
Shang-Chi.
I saw this earlier in the Discord. Kyle shared it and is seemingly watching the stream to see if he has a job. That just
did-
made me laugh.
He did kind of joke about that too. Sammy Lee was like, "Oh," when he saw it, he shared. He's like, "Stop singing karaoke." So he gets the memes. He gets he's still working. He's just doing some movies that aren't like. I think everyone kind of thought after Shang-Chi.
He's doing a
was
lot of
gonna,
commercials. I've seen a lot of seen a lot of
yes.
commercials.
I think after Shang-Chi, people just thought he was going to really blow up, and I don't think it exactly happened. But maybe this is his shot again. Who knows?
could be his
but
moment.
It could be his moment. So
And
and
the
it's
same character, same role.
yeah, it could be his second moment. Oh, go ahead, Terry.
I was just gonna say. So, did they when the chairs came down? We see the actors and actresses' names. Did they confirm that they were coming back as their respective characters, or are we getting a scenario here where it's like, hey, Chris Evans played Human Torch in Deadpool versus Wolverine?
Chris,
so
I can tell you, Chris Evans was not one of the chairs.
no, he wasn't. That I know too. But okay, so Simu Lee's coming back here. But do we know? Did they say Shang-Chi, or is he gonna come back as a
No.
variant from a different
They just
multiverse?
said
Because
the actor name.
It's just the
Okay.
names, but I'm gonna assume. To me, unless there's another person like a Downey, like if it was ScarJo or Evans, I'm gonna assume all these chairs they're playing the same person, or it's like what Dylan said, where if someone dies in Thunderbolts, it's maybe a multiverse version of themselves. But I don't think Simu Lee is like playing like Magneto
Spider-Man.
or something. Yeah, I don't think that's happening. I think you're safe. So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I like the. I feel like Ant-Man is what like the
Hell yeah.
second like longest tenured Avenger at this point. I guess maybe Cap.
Falcon, yeah, or Cap.
Yeah, I guess he was in there a little bit earlier, but now Ant-Man's really kind of climbed the ranks at this point. But glad to see him in there. That'll be really fun. Shang-Chi, super happy to see him. I expected that he was going to be on this roster, but it's nice to get that confirmation. Yeah, Loki is the weird one for me, just because like once again, how do you do the writing of it? And you guys made some good pitches there of like that could be a certain aspect, like a MacGuffin almost for Doomsday to be for Doom, goddamn, to be going after. So that part makes sense. But yeah, I'm excited to see him. I love Tom Hiddleston. I like that character a lot. But I've been outspoken on many of our podcasts. Like I just want him to chill in that tree for a few years and come back later. And it feels too soon. But like I'm still down for it. And obviously, him reuniting with Thor after like huge adventures he's been on and the adventures Thor's been on since then, it will be really great. So excited to see that moment. And I guess Thor. I don't know. Does someone call him, or does he just come back to Earth? Like, or is he just on Earth at the start of this movie? Like, do you think we get an explanation for that, or what?
Well, like new Asgard's on Earth, right? So I'm sure he tunes in every once in a while.
I think that. I think also because him and Love were like going around different planets, just being heroes now. I think whatever inciting incident happens on Earth, he could hear about that and go back. And I do think. What you laughing about, Kirkland?
Oh, I'm just thinking of more, Doctor Doom victims, and Love wasn't on this list, so
Love could be a victim. That is played by Chris Hemsworth's daughter. So
All the
maybe that one
youngins
happened.
were not on any of these lists, so they're all their
Yeah.
fates.
We don't want to do Young Avengers.
Assume they're dead en route.
We're
you don't
canceling Young Avengers, and let's kill off War Machine too, so we don't have to do that fucking movie. Yeah, another person on the list. No Don Cheadle. So.
Rhodey.
Scrody, yeah.
Gross.
Yeah, so I think that's what will happen, and then I think Mackie's gonna. I think that's what's gonna happen is there'll be an event. Thor's gonna go there. Mackie's gonna go there, and look, Captain America just happened to be putting together the Avengers again, and that's how he gets back on. To me, I talked about this on that cast many times. I remember when Destin Daniel Craig and that whole like the Kang stuff was going on, and all those rumors all the time never had Thor on the list, and I never fucking stood why. I know I said that weird, but like. I understood that they were kind of like almost treating him like Doctor Strange. We're like, he's not really on the Avengers now. Like he's bigger by himself. But it's like you only have so many people. Like we just talked about Cap, Ant-Man, and him that are like from the OG eras. It's like you have him there. His movie is the second biggest MCU movie that's not a crossover since Endgame. Like he should be there. Strange isn't on this list. So, and to me, like Hemsworth was the first name they showed. They could have shown anybody, but to me, that was them really showing like that's like a chicken soup for the soul. Like you guys love Thor, right? Like don't worry, Thor, he's back. Like we got one of the OG Avengers because again, Mark Ruffalo's not on this list. Maybe he'll come later, but
Yeah.
he was not, which was surprising to me.
I think one of my biggest surprises in general was just the lack of obvious Avengers people.
Yes.
Right, and obviously a lot of these people could be on the. Who knows what's going on with Loki? But yeah, there was only like 5, and then you could throw Loki on there for a 6th. But yeah, it's pretty narrow list.
Yeah. So and like these guys talked about when we get that Thor and Loki come back.
Chills.
I am so ready because it has been 2018. So at that point, it's going to be 8 years since those two shared the screen together. They never once did it in Thor 4. They didn't do it in Loki. I always thought they were going to bring a Hemsworth variant in there for the show, and they never did. So I think it's kind of smart because you'll feel like this coming together. And I do feel like there's a good chance, like, both these two are actually like done now, and like I know we thought that with Loki in Endgame, but I do feel like now, or in Infinity War, but I feel like there's a chance like this is the send off for real this time. But
Well,
no one's ever really gone.
I'm hoping that this iteration of Thor will not be the Love and Thunder version, like
No, I
the
don't think
clumsy
so.
daft. I want the Infinity War, the Endgame, particularly the Endgame, where
Yeah, no Korg on this list, so Taika is long gone, I think.
I think so. Yeah, I don't see Taika. And remember, it's the Russos, and most people, including myself, would say the best version of Thor is the Infinity War one, where he has some humor still, but he's still like a mega badass. And I think that, Russos, that's one thing they do great. Like, I love their version of Spider-Man. I love their version of Thor. So I think they're in good hands. And for me, it's good to see Shang-Chi. I know lots of people have been wanting him. I wasn't sure with the director switch. I always thought there was a chance Shang-Chi might not make it. And yeah, Paul Rudd you got to have. And Cap and Falcon we knew. Like, Falcon... yeah, all right. Like, I'm not too invested in that character yet. Maybe it'll happen. Or maybe, again, Doctor Doom, he's just fodder for him. So, and then I'll put any more on these characters.
What about Razor Fist? Is he coming with Shang-Chi in this as well?
Oh, I forgot about Razor Fist.
He's the Doctor Doom victim.
Sidewinder.
Yeah. The new Taskmaster.
fucking Razor Fist. So, then we got just this chunk of mutants, this chunk of X-Men. Started with Patrick Stewart coming back to die a fifth time, but we got Patrick Stewart, we got Ian McKellen as Magneto, we got Kelsey Grammer as Beast, we got James Marsden as Cyclops, we got Rebecca Romaine as Mystique, we got Alan Cumming as Nightcrawler, and where's the other one here? Oh, and then we got Channing Tatum as Gambit, which is
Hell yeah.
That's a big one right there. But Taylor, let you start. I heard a O over there. There's obviously one you didn't hear about, eh?
Well, I saw something about Ian and Patrick returning, and I was like, okay, that's cool. And then people were talking about other X-Men characters, but I didn't know who else. I was thinking in my head, like, oh, it's too, like I just assumed he didn't get in. But I thought, like, James Marsden, he should, it's too bad he's not in there. Because I watched that court show you had mentioned a while ago, Dylan, with him. And
oh, nice. Yeah, jury duty. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he popped up in Sonic. So he's just in the back of my mind. I'm thinking, yeah, it'd be cool if he was in there. And sure enough, there, you said the name. Holy shit, that's super awesome.
That was the name that Emily wanted, and I showed her a fake post, and then I had to go back, oh, no, it's not real. And then, like, 30 minutes later, was real. So I was like, oh,
Did she
thank
believe you
God.
the second time? Or she like,
She did,
Can't
yeah.
get me again.
I had a full-on, I had the screenshot this time, so.
You said Rebecca Roman is her name? Romaine. I didn't realize she was also in the Punisher movie.
She was, yeah.
That's
she
crazy.
Played, like, Frank's neighbor. Yeah, we're gonna get there next year. So she does. She's every Punisher movie.
She could be Frank's neighbor.
Yeah, you're right.
There's no actual character names in here.
She could be Thomas Jane's Punisher's neighbor. Yeah, who was like every Punisher movie. They always like his family's dead, but they always have some hot blonde where he's like, maybe. Like even Karen in Daredevil, it's like, maybe. It's like you just lost your family, Frank. Like, fuck, man. Like, and even Punisher Warzone. I think they dyed her hair, but Julie Benz, who plays Rita from Dexter, she's in there as like the maybe. Like always, there's a hot female next to Frank while he's with his family crying over them. But yeah, so I'm assuming Taylor it's Rebecca Romaine as Mystique as they were announced in the X-Men block, just to be clear. So
That's fair.
yeah. Any thoughts on the other X-Men there, Taylor?
So you said
Nightcrawler?
Yeah, Nightcrawler. Oh my goodness, that's fantastic too. I was not expecting all that. Really, really caught me off guard. So, yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how this goes. And are most of them just gonna get murked off? I feel like they are. But is this Kelsey Grammer's Beast from what we saw with Monica Rambeau?
Absolutely. Yeah,
it's that same one? You don't think it's going to be a different one?
No, I think that's going to be the bridge of how we get there. They didn't announce any Marvel's actors, like the Marvels, but I think one of those characters will come back. Like the fact that we have a character from 616 in a different universe, I think that can be like a bridge. So I think the next round of people, Tiana Paris will be on that list because that's how you get from point A to point B is that character right there.
And so we can assume that is the same Beast that we saw in the X1 to X Last Stand.
That's what gets tricky because if you're looking,
because Mystique died in that timeline.
Everybody died though, because remember that's the messed up thing.
Future past.
No.
ending.
Forget all that. It's easier. Logan, because remember in Logan they confirmed that they all died off.
Right.
Because Xavier had a seizure. And he killed a bunch of mutants accidentally because his mind control stuff, right? And then other mutants just got sick and died off. But then Deadpool kind of muckied that timeline up because they had that, Deadpool and Logan were in the same timeline, but it didn't make sense because there's still a bunch of mutants around. So really, I don't know if they're going to say, hey, Kelsey Grammer from the 2000s, that's the same Beast, or this is a new X-Men. They probably are safer to say it is just a new crew that is the same actors, but they could try and
Well, yeah, and even Tatum throwing him in there, like so obviously it's going to be a different squad than it was back then anyway. So
well, they never got their Gambit, that X-Men, so that's where you're safe. Because what happened was they.
I know, but it's still, but I'm saying it's still like different. It's not like they would just pick
Yeah.
up like, oh yeah, here's like this is an offshoot timeline from like X2 or something like that. Because I don't know, I can't remember in those movies. Is there a point in time when Magneto and Professor X were working together, like those two, McKellen and Stewart?
like. Yes, but were they on the X-Men together? Yeah, they did. They worked together in First Class, they worked together in X2, and they worked together in Days of Future Past. So quite a few times they were pounding around. In Days of Future Past, they were like the X-Men together. They were like the last standing ones. So, but then when they saved the universe, they never showed us what happened to Mystique and Magneto. But Beast was a teacher, and that's why I said they retconned Gambit. So technically, like Hugh Jackman's crew never had a Gambit. They like had him, but then they took out that timeline. Again, it's messy. It's a whole
Super
shit
messy.
show over there. X-Men. Fox.
Could it possibly be along the same route as No Way Home, where again we've got like your Doc Ock, your Green Goblin, but they're pulled out from their respective timelines at different points of time that like before their deaths, like we know where they came from. So we could get Beast pulled from like X2, or sorry X3, and then we could get Patrick Stewart pulled from X1. Like they could pull them from different iterations, or are they all going to be like the same characters? They all know each other from one set universe.
I don't think we'll get those answers. I think we'll just drop them in and have fun.
I think they're going to be same universe. It's going to be Universe X. They're going to go there. That Gambit, because remember at the end of Deadpool Wolverine on the screen, you can they show Gambit going back to his universe. So I think what's going to happen is that all these X-Men people are on the same universe, and it's because I think what you're going to have is you're going to have the Avengers, who are the Thunderbolts and 616 crew. You have F4 that's coming from a different universe, and they can be the crew that went, hey, we lost, like kind of what Mysterio was in Far From Home, but a real version of that of, hey, Doomsday came, Doctor Doom came, and like our universe is dead. And I bet that the X-Men universe, the Fox X-Men universe, that's the next one on the chopping block. That's what I think is going to happen, and that's why I think a lot of these people, Rebecca Romaine, Alan Cumming, sorry, James Marsden, I think a lot of these people are Doctor Doom victims. They're going to get a cool fight scene. Don't get me wrong. They're going to go out on their shield. They're going to make James Marsden look cooler than he ever has. You know why? Yeah, because he had to play a shit Cyclops. Everyone loved Hugh Jackman. They gave him nothing to do in those movies. I think you might even get him to say, to me, my X-Men. Like, they're going to do that. But then Robert Downey Jr. is going to pop his fucking head off, and it's going to be over for him. So
You don't think he's going to make a name for himself?
Gambit? No. Oh, well, Gambit should die.
Well, the other.
He's going to say that line, too. Ooh. Time to make a blast for myself. But no, like, I think Gambit could make it to the next movie because I think that's where Jackman and Reynolds come in. But I think most of these people are goners. Like, Xavier, he dies every movie. So, like, he's a goner. I'm very excited to have Ian McKellen do this. Like, he's even said, like, he doesn't give no shits. He's like, I'm probably dying soon, and like, I can't wait to do Gandalf. Like, he literally said, like,
In,
Lord of the
in
Rings.
Avengers, he means, or
No,
like,
no, but when he was talking about Lord of the Rings, he's like, yeah, it's probably gonna be the last thing I do. Like, so it's kind of fun where like how we grew up with him for myself of Magneto and Gandalf in the next 2 years, we're getting them back in those roles. And I don't know why. I know why. It's because it's Doctor Doom and Magneto. A scene of Ian McKellen with Robert Downey Jr., and hopefully Robert Downey Jr. is a great Doom, that I think has some juice potential right there. There's just something about that pairing where I'm like, Ian McKellen and Downey, like, that's cool. Now, could there just be a situation where Downey picks up a building and throws on Magneto and he dies? Yeah, sure. And I hope it's not that. That's definitely, we have some questions after from some patrons about like if this affects our hype or not, but there's lots of potential here. And yeah, there's names that surprised me of like, I was not expecting Nightcrawler or the original Mystique. I thought, no, those aren't people they're glomming for. There's names that they forgot or don't have, but like Halle Berry or Jean Grey or even Rogue, but I think those are names that could come later. I'd be very surprised if they don't have Halle Berry back. It's like, that's like, to me, like that's a big name you add to the movie again, right? And stuff. And I guess at first, because I see a lot of people bring this question up, and like even in the chat, like, where's Wolverine? If you remember it, if we're following the Deadpool Wolverine one, his X-Men are dead, right? So he wouldn't know these people, right? Like he would know of them, of like, hey, that's Xavier, that's Scott, but this isn't his crew of X-Men. These are people that like are still alive. His crew of X-Men died. He let them all die when he got drunk and everything. So I wonder if they're going to use that as like a happy ending, if they're going to have Hugh Jackman's Wolverine end up back with an X-Men squad and he'll kind of stay there. Like it's kind of a full circle moment of, I can't help. Remember they did that in the first season of What If, where like there was a Black Widow like displaced from time, and then one died, so she kind of just took over her slot and then just went forward. I wonder if they're gonna do that, where oh yeah, we lost Logan years ago, and here's a Logan that needs an X-Men, and then you kind of send him off happy, off into the distance. So that's one of my
that makes
theories.
sense. I was kind of surprised not to see Ryan Reynolds here. Secret Wars, sure, that makes maybe even more sense. Obviously, he wouldn't fit into this crew necessarily, but also this Gambit doesn't either in terms of like the old legacy of it. But it's super duper messy, as you already mentioned there, Travis. So yeah, a fun list. In terms of like us getting more announcements for characters, like do you guys think we're gonna get any more X-Men? Because this to me seems like a pretty hefty amount. Like Halle Berry is like the super big omission for me, and then like Jean, I guess, and then maybe Rogue. But like that list, it's really easy for that list to keep growing, and I feel like this is already 7 people. So it's like, okay, that's pretty decent. Like if you just want to get some X-Men in there, like you've kind of succeeded.
I think those 3 you have to, because I just thought about it. We've never on screen. I don't know if they're going to do it in the 616 X-Men. You can get Anna Paquin and Channing Tatum together as the Rogue and Gambit, and we've never gotten that on live action to see those 2 characters. So I think those are the 3. I think if they do another set of chairs and my theory is if they do another set of chairs, the last actor this time will be Evans, because it will be that flip of Downey did it and then Evans. I think Jean, Storm, Rogue, and that's it to me, barring Reynolds and Jackman. But I think those 3. It's a lot, but like I said, I think Nightcrawler is going to like have a cool scene and die. Like that's what I think is going to happen. Like Hemdall in Infinity War.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's nice that they got 3 people who have come back recently, Beast, Professor X, and Gambit, and then 4 like legacy characters. So I think that works nicely. Kind of connects well.
Yeah. Kirkland, are we getting any more X-Men? Or is this it?
I feel like this is a healthy list, but you make great points by bringing up those big 3. With what do you say? Anna Paquin. We got
Storm.
I don't know Jean's actual
Femke
actress.
Jensen. Come on,
Yeah, there you
Xena
go.
on a top.
Femke Jensen.
Yeah, Femke Jensen.
Yeah, no, like that one just makes sense story wise, and then as just like a fanboy, like that would just be so hyped to get, because I feel like X-Men is like that era, the Fox X-Men movies, like that was like a big inception into just like the genre for me, just like film wise. So that would be really really sweet. Kind of how like, I mean, we kind of already had like Wolverine and Deadpool, like good send off to that chapter.
And
but like
Pyro.
this is like the epilogue, because I'm getting Ian McKellen back. That's insane. And then
It is kind of funny. They did that whole end credit tribute, and then it's like, a year later, you're going to see Ian McKellen.
There's more. And I'm just
it's
eating
like-
it up because I love it so much. So yeah, I'm very hyped. This is easily like the most hyped batch of names for me. I just did not think in a million years, like let alone like Channing Tatum. I was like, no, really low chance we're gonna see him. It just doesn't fit the tone of what this movie I would expect to be. But then yeah, like the Incredible Nightcrawler in there, James Marsden as
Wagner.
Cyclops, like fuck, like I'm so hyped reading. And then yeah, like the original Mystique as well, Rebecca
her,
Romaine.
yeah.
So I'm hyped. I like that character terrified me as a kid, so it'll be really cool to just have that same actress don the mantle again.
If we got one freakish cameo from like Mystique transforming into someone for like just 5 seconds, which actor would that be? Who literally is on set for like 7 minutes to get
Terrence
one
Howard.
shot? That could be good. I'd like that.
Or
actually.
Edward Norton, one of those.
I was
two.
thinking more like what X-Men character like didn't
Okay.
want to come back for a full movie but would be down for one scene. But I like those ones even more. So hopefully we get one of those.
Oh, which didn't come back for a full movie, eh?
It would have to be like a big one. I feel like a big character. Because if it's just like
Who's a
Bobby, like that doesn't really do much
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
Banshee from First Class. That guy.
Fucking,
I'm
what's his
trying
name? Striker, that guy. The villain.
No, he just trashed the MCU last year. He's not coming back.
Brian
Emma
Cox.
Frost.
No, everyone be like, "Who's that?" You know, who is that? Who that? You get the other
And then you have
actor that played
Punisher and be
Gambit.
like, Maybe.
That could be a good in joke where you get Taylor Kitsch, who played Gambit in Origins, and he turns into him while Channing Tatum's in the room, you know. But
Could be
I'm
good.
sticking. I'm
Oh,
sticking
the
with
Wolverine movie. I almost
Yeah.
forgot about that guy.
Or the Calverine. You could do that. Another just appearance by
Bring
Cavill
him
for a
back.
split second. Yeah, that's all he does. He's only in the MCU
Just keep
always for
teasing us.
30-second increments. I'm going to ask you all this, but Kirkland, you can go first unless you don't have an answer. Because obviously, there's still tons of fun connections between like the Avengers and Thunderbolts and even Fantastic Four, right? Like we haven't seen Pedro like interact with Hemsworth. Like there's still, it's like Infinity War and Endgame where there's tons of, it's a smorgasbord of, oh, look at these fun connections. Is there anyone though specifically from the X-Men side? Because a lot of them, other than even Tatum, he just interacted with the other like, you know, X-23 Blade. Is there anyone from the X-Men? Like for me, like I said, it's like Ian and Downey. Is there any connection to characters like, oh, I want to, can't wait to see those two together? That's like a first timer, barring they don't die off in an opening action scene, you know? If one of you two have it, you could go. If Kirkland's,
Yeah. I'm blanking
I'll,
right now.
I'll drop a quick one for me. Could be I'm going McKellen again, but I'm going to go
Yeah.
with McKellen and Loki. I feel like in terms of like all-time great Marvel villains,
Absolutely.
and even if Loki's not in his Marvel era, and McKellen maybe he's like a hero in this timeline too, I still think that we could get like some interesting dialogue where they have some conversation where they talk in a very cloudy way about their pasts and like difficult decisions they've made. That could be a really fun scene.
Well, and even then, if they were like, because the Russos did say that Iron Man's death is going to play a role in the Doctor Doom storyline. So I think they are, whether they changed their minds, because I think there was rumors at one point it wasn't, I think they've pretty much just bent the knee and said, oh, we're just going to make this a Iron Man variant, which I'm happy with. You have that where you have two villains that turned to the good side, right? And that's like a good juxtaposition where you'd have Downey, who was a hero, potentially, that went to the bad side, right? So that could be a good kind of, how do you deal with that character? Well, you got two of them right here, you know?
Who knows, like Downey, like he could be recruiting Loki and Magneto as like
He could be, yeah.
you know, part of his villain force, which that would be insane if that was the route we were going down.
Get
I would love
Smarson
that.
instead.
Okay, I got one here. I'm gonna pitch Yelena interacting with Mystique, and Mystique is gonna be ScarJo, that Black Widow. That'll be
that's
like
a good
the
one.
three combiner there.
That's a good one. That's
And then for a
that-
moment, she
that's-
turns into Taskmaster just to dive the knife in more. Yeah, that'd be good.
Taylor, you rubbing your little mustache over there?
Fuck, this is hard to think of one for this.
Tatum and Hemsworth, you know? But you don't want jokey Thor, so you don't want that.
I don't want Jokey Thor. Yeah, I don't want that. I don't want to see that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I would really pitch as my two to tango here, because there's
Okay, yours
there's
will
so
be
many
David
options.
Harbour and Channing Tatum. Then that could be yours.
God, that sounds
No.
like that could be
Oh.
that could be. It's either a great 5 minutes or an insufferable 5 minutes. I don't know what it is. It's one of
If
the-
we dedicate 5 minutes of the movie to that, I'm out. I'm lost.
I would-
it's a joke end credit scene.
I would take, and we haven't talked about it yet, but I know he's in here. Reed Richards and Beast, Kelsey Grammer's Beast. I like to see the science whizzes.
Yeah, you can
Maybe
talk
Thing and
stuff.
Beast. Thing, Beast, and Hulk can have a little convo about being big and
What
transform.
about John Walker and Beast? You know, Beast could like really give him some philosophical.
John
like,
Walker and
guidance.
anybody.
Actually,
fuck are you?
I'd be super down for that.
Like, what is John Walker and Professor X going to talk about? You know, like, I would love to see just any of the amalgamations of that.
John Walker and Loki, I feel like those two are not on the same wavelength. That'd be good.
I was
Hey.
a bad guy too, but I'm good.
His name wasn't on here, but Charlie Cox, Daredevil, and
I wish, man. Yeah.
pretty much anyone. Honestly.
John
This one's very
Bernthal?
coxless.
John Berthal, yeah.
Xavier. They could talk about Xavier's school that he went to. There you go.
Right.
Full circle.
Remember me? High school. No, man. It wasn't me the whole time. Charlie Cox. That sounds like a Deadpool joke. But like the whole time, Daredevil will not let it go. Like, I swear I went to your school. He's like, that's a different school. Like, mine's for the gifted. That's Xavier's high school. It's not me. Like, no, man, you were there. There's a bald teacher. I swear. Like, you can't even see.
I'd like to see a John Walker and a Daredevil thing, because I feel like John Walker wouldn't even know Daredevil's blind until like 5 minutes into
Oh,
the
and he'd kick his
conversation.
ass so easily too, like, and embarrass him. He's not even a super soldier. But yeah, we can get that in a second. That's my name, the Coxless. They did not. They did not, unfortunately, have any Charlie Cox. Hoping he's in the second batch of names. That's my dream pick after Jackman and Toby. But yeah, Taylor mentioned, I didn't mention it. They confirmed the F4, but that to me wasn't a big thing because I think everybody forgot they confirmed the F4 last year when they were on stage at Comic-Con. They said, oh, and they'll all be in the Avengers movie too. So yeah, you got Reed, you got Sue.
I forgot about that.
Okay, there you go. You got Reed, Sue, Johnny, Ben. No one's complaining about spoiling that, eh? What if they had died? Fantastic 3?
No Herbie though. Come on, fucking shit
No.
movie.
Doom's got Herbie.
Lewis Pullman too. Don't forget him. You know, Fantastic Five. Oh fuck, he's Thunderbolts. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I'm combining trailers in my
Sorry,
head.
what?
Sorry about that.
Wait,
No-
what happened there? Why did you?
I really want to see Lewis Pullman and Joseph Quinn interact in this movie. That's what I'm
my dream pick. You know, Taylor, you're going to say
Do we see a Silver Surfer appearing in here or no? Is that gonna? Are they gonna?
no
They're
chair.
not gonna kill that character off. I hope not.
But that's
Don't
tough.
scare
They're
me.
from a different universe, supposedly, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I can't remember who in the chat, somebody today in Discord said, like, oh, what about Galactus? Said, well, if that universe goes kaput for now, and then they leave it, and they're the only survivors along with, let's say, Doom, it's like, those characters wouldn't be around for now. You may get our version of Surfer down the line or Galactus, but I don't think the ones specifically from that movie are going to carry over, because I think that universe is going to close the loop. So,
Okay.
okay. I will quickly ramble off some names we did not get. So, obviously, they got Comic-Con. They might do this reveal again, but these are at least the biggest name. It's like just 15 of them. Someone actually put Taskmaster. We're not talking about that. Evans. To me, Evans is a lock. I think that's a Comic-Con saver one. I think they're going to try and do the Downey thing with him
Get him
and
on
get the big
stage.
pop. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Agreed.
Taylor Kirkland? Nothing?
Stage.
It's an audio format. Yeah. Haley Atwell? Any Captain Carter pig action?
Atwell.
Not
I'm more
well.
on the Secret Wars bandwagon because I think they are going to bring in Captain Carter, and I think they'll save her for that. And she'll be the what if, and she'll be all fucking juked out and everything. So,
I could agree with that. Yeah.
oh, Taylor's typing away,
Chomping those keys.
breathing in the mic.
Yeah. So, according to Deadline, Haley Atwell will return as Peggy Carter in Avengers Doomsday. I guess I forgot about that.
They've said that about Evans
So-
too, but I'm just saying because they didn't announce him.
But
right?
we don't
So-
know what iteration, right? Like, okay.
Yeah, because I think I do think there's some of these that legitimately they will just not announce at all. Like that could be Evans as well too, right? Evans could not be until we see the movie or post credit, and he's in Secret Wars. Like they could wait. Ruffalo's Hulk, I feel like that one's got to be coming at some point, right? Like
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense for him to not be in there based on where he's at in the timeline right now.
Yeah,
So, and they just obviously, he didn't obviously end up being in Brave New World, but there was a lot of Hulk things in there. So, hopefully he comes comboed with his, what was it, cousin? What is their connection again? They're cousins, right?
yeah, they're
In-
cousins and his
Yeah.
son too. Don't forget Scar.
Well, I
Scar.
forgot. Yeah, he's.
Yeah.
We don't need him. But
To me, one of the most surprising names that was not on this list, Chris Pratt as Star-Lord. I know it's coming, whether it's for one of the movies, but I thought, especially we got that, Will Return, I thought for sure he'd be there.
Zero Guardians at all. Yeah.
Zero Guardians, yeah, we got, obviously, we're Coxless, so no Daredevil, no Strange or Wong.
Yeah, no
Not
Wizards.
Yeah,
No
so again,
Wanda?
some of these, well, she's dead, Dylan. She can't come back.
No, she's just under a couple of rocks. Okay, chill out.
Yeah.
I've seen her.
Hawkeye, both Hawkeyes. I'm not. In general, I'll just throw them together. How are you guys feeling about the Young Avengers? Because Mike was talking about this, like, oh, maybe they could be in the second one, help bring back some of these, like the hero stuff. I think there's a good chance that they could be in these movies, but a very minor role. Or I think there's a good chance, like, they're not. They're gonna look at these younger characters that are in Young Avengers and be like the Marvels, Miss Marvel, Hawkeye, like. These aren't huge they're Disney Plus stuff, which there's not much Disney Plus representation on this list. They might just look at them and be like, yeah, that's fine for our streaming service, but we don't, like, She-Hulk was not on the list. Like,
Ironheart, which considering we have other
Yeah.
Black Panther connections, you'd think maybe she would be involved.
and she's got a show coming out in like 3 months
Yeah.
now,
Soon,
so
yeah.
I think there's a shot the Young Avengers in general might just not really be around,
More cannon fodder, Just they started with
Amon
love,
gone,
and
Haley
then-
Steinfeld gone, taking out their full. They're like,
No.
we got the
I-
X-Men rights, we're fine, we're fine.
I think that roster's pretty safe. So I think.
Do you
it would
think
be
they'd
more
appear,
Secret
though?
Wars. I would say more Secret Warsy
Okay.
as opposed to here.
I'll say there maybe they have a movie or something prior to Secret Wars, but No, actually, I'll say after. I'll just say after Secret Wars. So they're gonna be middle-aged Avengers by the time that movie comes out. But
Yeah.
I think they're waiting in the wings, warming that bench.
The Elder Avengers.
Maybe we get him on as like a mutant because she had that thing. Maybe she ends up being on the X-Men
Just
team
do
or
it.
something.
Just throw, like, I know people that even the original comic writer said they wanted her to be a mutant. I'd be completely fine if they're just like, we're doing the X-Men movies and Miss Marvel's an X-Men character. And I was like, great, perfect. She's like I said, I
I
don't
meant
want
part of this this Doomsday roster, but that would be interesting too if they
Oh, I
just
see
kick
what you
her
mean.
over to that. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I see what you mean. Taylor, Young Avengers, they here, minor roles, dead, not in at all. Disney Plus, where are you?
I could see them
Just
well,
off-screen death for all of them. Yeah.
Like they did to the Nova Corps and
Oh,
Thanos.
yeah.
That's like got the power stone, he just killed the entire planet. Didn't know, like John C. Riley gone, Glenn Close gone.
I don't know about them popping up in this movie. I feel like, and maybe someone at Disney knows this, like a lot of them kind of as interesting as their characters are, when it hits that humor tone, and a lot of these Young Avengers have a lot of humor, I feel like those humorous notes overlap. So when you have a Kate Bishop and a Kamala, it's just like, okay, well, like they overlap a little bit, and
You're Captain
it's
America, you're Thor. It's
well,
a
that's
lot
the
of
thing.
that
It's
humor.
that's exactly it, and it's okay to have one of those in Avengers. You're Spider-Man. It works, and it's great seeing that humor play off all the different characters and just the zaniness of it. But if you have a full team of 6 of these kids all doing that, riding off of each other with that kind of level of humor
Get 'em,
with
dude!
everyone else. Oh my God, that's a lot. And then you throw a Scar into the mix, like it's just a whole can of worms. So I don't think we're gonna see them here necessarily. And if we do, it'll be just a couple. And it's gonna be like, oh, we're gonna be like visiting location. We're gonna be going to New Jersey, seeing Kamala. We're gonna be going to New York and seeing Kate Bishop. And honestly, I think the lack there of Hawkeyes might be due to the fact that there were the season 2 rumors
Yes.
or something like that.
I think that's gonna be a go. So, and that's the same thing. Like Vision's on this list. Same thing. He is his show. So it's like, what the fuck is White Vision even doing right now? I guess if Scarlet Witch comes back,
drinking beers.
Yeah, he's drinking beers.
Yeah, that's where Star Lord is. Yeah, I guess if Scarlet Witch comes back, that could be a way to get him back on the board, right? He has to go find his love, but that to me again is more Secret Wars. I think they're gonna save. I could see her actually being an end credit, but go ahead.
What was White Vision's like mindset with Scarlet Witch? I can't remember end of WandaVision. Right
He just
now.
flew away.
But like, does
He
he
just flew
remember
away.
the attachment that he had to that character? Or
Yes
is he
and
just
no.
like fully robotic now? I can't even remember.
So no, because the colored Vision, regular, regular Vision. I'll say first
Okay,
Vision.
yes, first Vision.
He put all his memories into him, so he remembers
Okay,
it all,
there
but he
you
didn't
go.
feel it all. So it's like a Jason
I was
Bourne
missing that
situation.
fact.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So he knows, like, okay, I had sexual relations with Scarlet Witch. We had some kids, but he didn't feel that, right? So
Well, he felt something. He felt it all at once.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you made me felt. I was gonna say too with the Young Avengers, like, okay, Thor and Ant-Man are on the roster, and their 2 kids are like very, maybe not love as much, but definitely Ant-Man's daughter seems like a easy young Avenger type, and like no mention of her here.
yeah.
So I don't know if he's just like, hey, sit on the bench for this one. You can stay at home, even though you have powers now, or you have your suit, whatever's going on. So kind of a weird situation, but I think that just kind of hints that once again, Young Avengers is like a separate bucket. Whether that ends up happening or not, I think it's separate bucket territory.
They supposedly hired a showrunner this week, so it sounds like they're going for
There
it.
you go.
But Mahershala as Blade. I was really hoping. You know how I know. Don't put the face way down. I was hoping because what I want more than anything, if we're not getting Blade, at least throw him one of these big movies just to establish him. And man, I'll say next to Cox, I'm probably hoping for Ali more because Ali just seems like such a long shot. I was wishing, but yeah, that didn't happen.
Especially Channing Tatum hanging out with a different Blade. Could have been fun. Little joke there.
It could have been. Sam Jackson, which I actually was surprised he was on the list. I thought that was like a layup. He could be coming later on, though. I feel like he's got to be here.
I'm just picturing this picture of him with a gun.
Scrawl, Sam Jackson. And then finally, the big one that everyone I think was most surprised about. No Tom Holland as Spider-Man. So again, there could be
Yeah.
more names, could be that, but I was surprised he was not on this initial batch. I'm going to assume he's still in this movie, even if it's in a Civil War type of role where it's a smaller one. But the man is filming Odyssey right now at Nolan, and he goes to film Spider-Man. This man just might not be able to fucking be an Avenger right now. So that's why I think he will be in here, but it'll be something smaller. And I bet in Secret Wars, that's where he's more, and that's where the money is. You want to see him with like Toby and Andrew again. You want to see him with like Hugh Jackman and Tom Holland. You want to see that. You know, you don't want to see him in the crew that maybe gets killed off in the first movie for a bit, right? Like you want to see him with Nick Cage. You want to see him with Wesley. Like he is one of the like leaders. And there's a couple others. Like I think Hemsworth should be there. I think if you actually want Captain America to be a big deal, you have him survive and interact with Hugh Jackman and everything like that. But Tom Holland, I think, is a draft pick. I just think maybe the guy's just too busy right now. Maybe, and that's why some of these names might not be announced too. Maybe there's plans for them being there, but they're literally not signed, or they're just not filming in the first few months, right? Maybe it's down the line. So, but yeah, no Spidey right now.
Yeah, that was the big shocker for me. It was funny. I asked Shay like what she thought of the list, and she's like, "Where's Tom Holland?" Like that was the first thing that she thought of, and I'm sure many people out there are in the same sentiment. I mean, I was thinking the exact same thing. It's gonna be a given, like when we eventually get him in there. But I just feel like the want for that character and Tom Holland in that role is very high. So they better be saving him for some juicy stuff, because even just like the match, like just seeing Downey's face on a villain for like the characters, that's a big deal. But like for Spider-Man, like that's gonna be a crazy just interaction there with how much he looked up to him. So I'm very much looking forward to when that eventually happens. It was saved here. To be fair though, like I feel like it would have been hype seeing him on like a chair, like just Tom Holland's name on a chair, but still like to actually, if they're able to save it for like a potential small appearance, I think he will be in the movie. I think it will be a smaller role. I think a big part of that is to do with just the filming schedule that he's on right now.
Busy
but still, I think it is a guaranteed in my mind that he's going to at least be a somewhat part of it, and then just leading into Secret Wars where he is a bigger part.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Holland and Downey have done a ton of scenes together, and they have great chemistry, and there's just a lot of juice there. So I think they're going to try and make it happen, even if it's like some really janky thing where it's just a green screen shot where like, okay, we're able to get Downey and Holland in the same room for 4 hours, and we'd like shot a few scenes, and we're going to figure out what works best in the movie. I think we'll get something like that. But yeah, I feel like he, just based off the schedule stuff and like how much other stuff's going on here, I feel like maybe we won't get a ton of that, or I'd get a ton of him. And then Secret Wars, yeah, you get the reunite moment with all the Spideys. So I could see something like that happening.
All the Spideys,
Yeah, it's curious how he's not in this. I'm just laughing at how curious it is he's not in this. I think that it makes more sense for him to be lined up for the next one after this iteration, because you don't want to be in the movie with everyone dying and all that jazz. And I was just. He's leveled up, and I'm thinking, when he gets his own Spider-Man movie, that's probably going to explain why he wasn't around, and he's doing his own thing, and it's getting kind of crazy. And I was just, I was curious, and I Googled like Spider-Man.
Stop it right now.
I Googled Spider-Man 4 because I was just trying to see what they had, and this first thumbnail that popped up, I was like, man, that's super cool. You got Venom symbiote, Tom Holland Spider-Man with Dr. Doom on the top there.
That's not the first one I see. I see this terrible AI generated of Downey in the Doom getup.
It is terrible. But I like the idea behind it. But yeah, you got a lot of people really loving him wearing this symbiote suit.
It's like no matter how many times, look at his head there. No matter how many times they do the fucking symbiote, look at these trailer reviews. 1.4 million. Like people still juice over like, oh, I really like to see my black outfit.
2.6 million with this one with Iron Man or Tony.
We don't have time today. I would love to watch that in the future.
Is somebody excited for this?
Yeah, let's not watch this. Save that for maybe that's a good bread and butter, but like. The trailer, let's see, everybody, well made. Okay, luckily most of the top comments are people, knowing that it's fake.
Lucy is...
Tom be like, what I done a movie without me? What the fuck? Okay.
These are all bots. All these comments, this video, everything involved is a bot, I think.
It could be, yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Put that down there. Let's see. Patreon questions here quickly. I had them pulled up, but let's see. Dalton Tolar says, whose name surprised you the most? I think for regular for me, it was Neymar, because I just forgot about him kind of. Like I even messaged you guys, like, did you guys have him on another podcast? I forgot about that. But then as far as the X-Men, like that's the one. I'm actually going to say Marsden, because like... I don't know. Maybe maybe it could be McKellen, but I still thought there was a chance. Marsden, just because I feel like if they do always like we got to get the top people, I feel like they kind of leave him out. Like I just feel like they don't consider him in like the Jackman, the Stewart, the things like that. So I was happy to see him there because, like I said, I hope they give him a scene where he gets to be a badass Scott Summers for once, and he gets to go out on his shield. So I'd say James Marsden was my number one, but Ian McKellen was like a very close second.
I feel like for me, yeah, Namor for sure. Sentry, ask me any time before today, is Sentry going to be in an Avengers movie? And my answer would never be yes. So that's a big surprise. And then it would be just the X-Men duo of Nightcrawler and Mystique. Just both those two. I feel like in all the rumors and all the wish lists and all the casts we've done, I don't think we've ever mentioned those two of like coming back and like, oh, they could appear in a Deadpool cameo. Like those. They never have come up once, so I feel like those two are real deep cut pulls. So, yeah, those two, Namor and Sentry for me.
And even if it was Mystique, if you told me, hey, Mystique's the next Avenger, I'd been like, oh, they got Jennifer Lawrence. I would not have thought Rebecca Romaine. So,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, mine would be definitely the tie of Nightcrawler and that Mystique. Pretty much like a lot of the X-Men though, like I wouldn't have expected McKellen in there, but I don't know. It also just I guess makes sense in that avenue. But and then Ghost even like that was a big shocker. And then definitely Namor. Yeah.
I'd have to say Marsden. I'm with you, Travis. That one really caught me by surprise. And I'd probably go. I'd go Mystique. Yeah, that's. And I honestly just keep
or
going
Frank
with
Snaber,
X-Men.
remember? Could be
Frank Snaber.
Snaber.
That's
Yeah.
right, Frank Snaber. And then
Maybe a dual role. She'll play both characters. We didn't get confirmation she's playing Mystique. We don't know she's playing Mystique. You know,
She could be
just playing the neighbor.
Mystique as that character from Punisher.
They'll put Frank Castle with Mystique. He's like, oh, blue lady, eh?
A joke for 5 people who can put that connection together. Yeah.
Yeah, and just a pin drop in the theater.
I'll laugh in the theater. If it happens.
I'll forget by the time the movie comes out. I guarantee it.
Another question for Detail Taylor. I'll start with you. I'll go the roundabout way. Does this cast reel make you more or less excited for the movie?
You know how long I've been waiting for this?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Okay, so more excited? Kirkland?
Yeah.
Mr. Patterson?
I am more excited. I am more
Not a hard
excited
question, I thought, but maybe I was wrong.
with like an asterisk to it because it's just like I need some more
Like
names
Thunderbolts?
though. Like if this is just
Really? You
the
need
roster,
more names.
You're fucking greedy.
we've
You
talked
are-
about
yeah,
this.
Don't
We've
be
talked
greedy.
about this. A second batch of names. Like I feel like if
Okay,
we
but-
don't get any more names beyond this is our whole Doomsday cast. No,
So you would-
that's
so that's-
unacceptable.
Because I have because Manny has a great question, and I'm going to ask like an addendum on that question. But like, if they were actually today, they would have come and said, "This is the cast. That's it." You would think this is not a good enough roster, knowing like, let's say I'm not saying
I
let's
would
say
be underwhelmed.
Tom Holland.
I would be
Let's say
underwhelmed.
let's say Tom Holland could be in Secret Wars and stuff like that. But in this, you'd be underwhelmed by these X-Men people, and like I feel like for the Phase 4 to 6 Avengers, they got the biggest ones like Pew and Thor and Stan and Mackie,
You
like
got 4
those.
people.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Fantastic Four.
Fair points. I would. There you
Winston
go.
Duke?
I'll me in the middle. I would need at least a Spider-Man like surprise appearance in the film. Like somehow they don't leak that he's in the film. That would save
You
it for me.
spiderhead, you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm greedy. Don't want to be greedy now, but I am.
Don't less or more.
I'm more excited because we've had a little bit of info about this movie. It's mostly been rumors, and to just get confirmation of stuff. And this is a lot of stuff to get confirmation. They could have done 10 chairs and people would have still been popping off. But they did like, I don't know, what is it, 20, 28,
26.
28 chairs? 26?
26. Yeah.
That's a shit ton of chairs. That's super exciting.
Not big
I
enough.
love it. I'm more excited than I was before because not just the deep cuts, but just kind of having more info and be able to put together a bigger idea of what this movie actually is. It's super exciting. Yeah.
I think I'm kind of like Kirkland, where I'm more with an asterisk, but my asterisk is different, and almost like what Dylan said, where I'm happy that for the next for the next 12 plus months, we're not like, oh, we've heard another rumor, Ian McKellen's on set. We've heard another, like, I like that they're like, let's confirm some of these big ones and get them out there. I think that's also smart too, because all these ones confirmed, they're gonna span them in the trailers, and I think they know that. I think we got some questions about box office. They know they got to win some people back, so to throw some of these big names, they don't got to be like, oh, should should we, should we not? It's like, well, everyone knows Stewart's in there, throw him in there. Everyone knows McKellen's in there, throw him in there. I think that does help for hype stuff. For me, it still doesn't change anything about it's been such a messy phase, and I've coined the term "we're so fucked." I do think, luckily, like what we were talking about before, with Cap, F4, and Thunderbolts, if that is kind of the lead into this, then it's a little less. I'm a little less worried because it is okay. You really, not really, but you really just have to watch like those three, and then that leads into whatever, right? So before, when I rewatched the Infinity War Endgame, it's like there's so many stories. How can you get this all meshing? Well, this they kind of do like a shortcut to it, and it's like mini stories, because the X-Men, they don't need to do that. They have we know their stories, right? Like we have the history with them, so we can fill in those blanks. So it makes me a little more. Yeah, I'll say I'm a little more excited, but I'm still not like, oh, this is complete. Like, it's great to have these actors confirmed, but I'm also not like, this is for sure going to hit Infinity War Endgame levels. Like, this doesn't mean it could also just be, these people could literally just be back for cameo swap. What if we get to a point where, yeah, Doom lands down in the X-Men universe and just kills all these people? There's no great dialogue scene. Like, and don't get me wrong, I liked what they did in Multiverse of Madness, right? I thought that was a fun thing. Show off the Illuminati, Scar Witch destroys some. Oh, that was a fun cameo. If they do that, again, Xavier, but if they do that with lots of these people, to me, that would be lost potential. Because the fun stuff to me is seeing, Riot Russell talk to Patrick Stewart. Like, that's what I want. So if it is just them to show up and just get killed in a CGI battle, then it is just like the AI cameo slop. And that's where I can say I'm not like, oh, for sure, we're locked in. No, this could still be bad. And they're like, let's just make people excited. And, people like Nightcrawler, have him fight Doctor Doom for a minute, So more, but still an asterisk. Matty Sag says, way too early predictions what's your too early predictions for total box office? The last two Avengers films cracked $2 billion. Where do you think this lands? I'm pretty sure didn't Endgame make 3 or almost 3? I could be wrong, actually.
Didn't they re-release it or something?
Let's see. It may 2.8. So there you go. But yeah, so I'll just ask that question for now because it's early. Do you think they both crack 2 billion? Endgame did that. Infinity War.
Ooh, I think they're cracking $1 billion easy.
Yeah,
2 billion's a big number though. I'm gonna say no, not on the 2 billion. Not this one. Maybe Secret Wars.
That's where I am. Yeah.
Ooh, I think they'll crest that ridge on the 2 bill. And it'll be bright and wonderful. And we'll all believe in the MCU again.
Okay. I think like the first one, unless, here's my asterisk here, unless Doomsday comes out and it's like really fucking good. Like people are like, oh, we haven't had an MCU movie like this since Endgame. Like then I think it could get up to that 2 billion for repeat viewings. Plus there could be some more cameos we don't know about, like the way they had Channing Tatum and everything. So it's like, think about those 4th, 5th weekends when they show, here's Chris Evans, here's Hugh Jackman. I think
Drogue.
Or Drogue, of course, or Scar as well, those two.
Yeah.
So I think Doomsday is at least like a 1.5, but I could see it being 1.9 or even just 2. I think Secret Wars is a for sure. I've always said, you throw Tobey Maguire and Hugh Jackman on a poster together, that's 2 billion easy. Easy. Doesn't even matter what the quality of the movie is. People, that right there is generations of nostalgia right there. So, Taylor?
I'm going to say Doomsday is an easy 1 bill right there. And it's, 1 to 1.5, I think, for sure. That second one, yeah, I think you're hitting the 2 mark.
Is there any universe, and I guess Maddie kind of asked this, is there any universe where Doomsday is just fucking awful and that keeps Secret Wars from making 2 billion? I think that's possible.
Possible. Very possible. I think people will still go to the theater anyway for Secret Wars. But yeah, I mean, in terms of because he had a separate question about the quality, right?
He said, so it's a double here. What percentage would you give Doomsday to end up being a huge bust, either quality or financially? Any concerns that could actually disappoint? Yeah, kind of some stuff for Tom. But yeah, what do you think? Give me a number percentage on your quality and then on finance, Dylan.
I mean, I think it's definitely gonna rake in the dough. No concerns there. Even if it's a bad movie, I think it's still gonna make a lot of money. Is it going to make as much as they want? These greedy suits up in their ivory tower? I don't know. But in terms of like when we look at it, it's like, oh yeah, it's going to crush $1 billion, which to me is like, okay, if you crush $1 billion, you're happy. I know these people always want more, but
especially nowadays,
that's
we don't get many of those. Like it's not like when we started the podcast where you had $16 billion movies. It's like every year you kind of get 2, and that's about it. Yeah.
In terms of quality, though, I mean, yeah, as I mentioned, I'm more excited now than I was before. but I still don't really have more faith that this is going to be a very well done movie than I did before. I think this is, even though we talked about this, okay, like there's a little bit of a runway now leading into this in terms of the Cap, Thunderbolts, F4, but like there is no continuity between any of those. Like those are just three very random projects that have been in production for long before Doomsday was even something they were considering doing, right? Like all those things were announced and in production to some extent even before, like while we still had Kang Dynasty on the table, right? So I still think there's a great chance that this movie is very, very messy. I don't know if it's going to be rushed because I feel like they announced it a long time ago now, but maybe it could be rushed just in terms of like CGI quality, stuff like that, and like weird reshoot stuff. Or as I mentioned, like that Tom Holland thing. It's like, yeah, maybe they only have him in like the studio for a few hours and they just shoot some random scene, and like you might feel that when you're watching the movie. So yeah, I think that without a doubt these are going to be, this movie, I'll say at the very least, is going to be worse than both Infinity War and Endgame easily, like in terms of quality. I think it's almost impossible that they match those or even get close to them, to be honest. But you know, it's dirty fanboy stuff, and I'm still gonna have a fun time with the movie. I think even if it's pretty rough, you know.
Blast me with the dirty fanboy stuff.
Oh, we all are, you know.
You got to remember though, you said it was announced a long time ago, but at the same point, that was when it was called King Dynasty, though, right? So it's like it was announced a long time ago, but it's gone through many script changes.
Yeah,
and
I know. That's what I mean.
directors.
Like it's
you know,
in terms of how rushed it is. Like it does feel like, okay, they're going into production now, like, or filming now, right? And then they're releasing it next summer. So I don't know. That could work, I guess. That's fine.
I think money wise, like 'cause Maddie asked what percentage would you give it for being a bust. I think like 5%. I think these will make money. I think what I've said before, though, what I could see happening is the Rise of Skywalker effect, where sure you made $1 billion, but you, and maybe even Last Jedi 2, really split the fan base and hurt it. I could see these movies just being cameo AI slot. Well, could be AI slot. Fucking Joe Russo said that they use it for Electric State, and it's like, oh, it's a ever-changing art. So you're probably going to get AI in this movie. So, like, to me, there's a chance that it could be so bad that people do almost check out on Marvel. Like, yeah, you know what? I'm now good in the future. I didn't need to go back. Or it is they want that same rush as Infinity War Endgame. They don't get it, and that's what's bad. It's chasing the dragon. But I still think they will make money. It's what happens after. That's the question. Quality, I'm literally a 50-50. I know everybody's answer is always like, well, they've directed Winter Soldier and Civil War. I know. They haven't missed with Marvel, but they've missed a lot of other places. And I've said, too, it's not just them. They're picking up a lot of broken pieces right now. So I think it's a 50-50. What I would like is, like, I'm happy with a movie that's like an 8 out of 10. I'm pretty happy with that. 7 to me that's too low for both these movies. I need at least an 8. So I'm 50% on the quality as far as me, like, kind of getting to me being completely happy with it. Yeah. Ms. Patzer?
Yeah, I think it's very low chance it's not going to do well financially. So next to 100%, it's going to do well financially, I guess I can say. And then in terms of bust, I think it's just the optimist in me. But like, I can't see this not being at least great. Like at least an 8. I want to say an 8.5, but like an 8 feels low. So yeah, I'm gonna say an 8.35 at least.
Gonna have this clip saved for next
Hopefully.
May. For next May.
And I'm just depressed. And yeah, 4 out of 10.
Where's Tom Holland?
Wasn't he on one of those chairs?
Yeah, 5 out of 10.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm pretty optimistic with that, but we'll see.
Taylor?
Yeah, I think financially, my percentage, I don't know where I would rank $1 billion. Like, it was 100%. Like, I think it's gonna do great. It's gonna do very, very well money wise. But in terms of it quality wise, personally, I think it's going to do well. But realistically, I think that there is a chance, that things could kind of backfire. Like you guys already were highlighting, everything on this slate leading to this movie has been changed, at least for the latter half of it, because of everything that was supposed to be going on with Kang. And so for them to change it on the fly and kind of adapt it to the story, it could mean that it's very messy, or it could mean that, hey, they managed to capitalize on it and they turned it around and this made it their own. It all depends on the flexibility of Feige and what he's going to be whipping out for this. So I'm very optimistic though, and I'm very excited for it. But it's just gonna be, I won't be surprised if it does meet some, I don't know, some heat. You know, it's a little bit controversial.
Meet
Not
some
everyone's
heat.
loving it. Meet some heat. So
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back because we got lots of stuff. Comic-Con should be fun if they do this again. But yeah, it's fun. We talked about rumors. Also, you had Downey last year and the Russos, but I feel like now we are on the road. Like they're about to start filming in the next couple weeks. We're officially on the road to Doomsday, and I think it's gonna be a fun time. Whether or not this movie's gonna be great, I promise you, every episode we do, especially the review, is gonna be a good time. I think it's gonna lead some good discussion, and yeah, we'll see if they can recapture the magic. It's just, again, with us going into our 10 years, it's kind of funny. Like we're about to hit 10 years, and here we are talking about like the MCU. Like, can they recapture the magic? Like when we started, we were on that road to Endgame and Infinity War, right? Like being so excited. We're now a little trepidatious, but I think today helped. So we will catch you next time, and it won't be boring.